Come on in, pull up a chair, and take a load off, because today I'll be taking a first look and paging through The One Ring, 2nd edition from Free League Publishing, and we will crack this tome open right after this. Howdy, 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 gang. Welcome once again to the Duct Tape Studios. I'm Jeff McAleer, your host, here at the Gaming Gang channel. As I mentioned in the open, today I am going to be taking a first look and paging through The One Ring, 2nd edition from Free League Publishing. It's written by Francesco Nepitello, Marco Maggi, Michelle Garbugio, James Michael Spahn, and Jason Durrell, with artwork provided by Martin Grip, Alvaro Tapia, Jan Pospisil, Nicholas Brandt, Henrik Rosenborg, Antonio De Luca, Federica Constantini, Luca Socio, Danielle Sorrentino, Melissa Spondry, and Giadita Betty. And I know I have butchered umpteen of those names. I do apologize. This 242-page hardcover core book is available right now for pre-order for an MSRP of $57.99, or you can grab the PDF right now over at DriveThruRPG for $24.99. Do you want to mention the Gaming Gang is affiliated with the One Bookshelf sites, so if you are going to swing over to DriveThruRPG, please stop by thegaminggang.com first. Click on one of our banner ads. That way, if you happen to make a purchase, I get a little portion of that sale. And all those nickels, dimes, and quarters really do add up and help keep the gaminggang.com website around. All right, that said, let's swing on over to the other camera, because here we've got the One Ring Core Rulebook. Yes, this is one of the most highly anticipated role-playing game releases in quite some time. And I know a lot of people have been really pumped to get their hands on this. It is still arriving for some Kickstarter backers. I believe a vast majority of the Kickstarter backers have already received their copies of the various different 2nd edition materials and releases for the One Ring. But I do understand that there are some places that they have still not gotten them. They are in the works, I guarantee you. I know Free League Publishing does their damnedest to make sure that the Kickstarters end up in people's hands as quickly as possible. That said, this review copy was provided by the fine folks over at Free League Publishing, but neither I nor anyone else affiliated with the Gaming Gang has received any other sort of compensation for me to share my coverage of this book with you. And these days, it's important that you know that. Also, I'm going to stay picture-in-picture up here in the corner. So as we take a peek through, I'm going to be cutting off the upper left portion of the book. We are not going to look at each and every page. I just want to give you a feel for what's in this 2nd edition of the One Ring. Also, this is just stream of consciousness. I have not looked at this book at all. I have waited to shoot this video before cracking this open. I haven't even read the back of this book yet, which I'm going to do now, and hopefully I don't mess a whole lot of it up. Duh. 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone, 9 for mortal men doomed to die, 1 for the dark lord on his dark throne. In the land of Mordor where the shadows lie, 1 ring to rule them all, 1 ring to find them, 1 ring to bring them all, and in the darkness bind them in the land of Mordor where the shadows lie. Enter the world of Middle-earth with the One Ring, the official tabletop role-playing game based on the works of J.R.R. Tolkien. Designed specifically to evoke the atmosphere of The Hobbit and The Lord of the Rings, the game contains rules for creating heroes and sending them off on adventures in a land threatened by the growing shadow. This beautifully illustrated full-color hardcover manual presents Middle-earth as it was 20 years after Bilbo Baggins' remarkable disappearance and unexpected return. The great events narrated in The Lord of the Rings are still 50 years away, leaving plenty of room to narrate stories worthy of an epic. And it's going to talk about what's in this book. We're going to see that, so I'm not going to read that. So let's dive on in. So we have a map of Eredor. Before we jump in, there are a few different products that are out there. Well, I should say out there. They're coming March 22nd from Free League Publishing. There is the starter set, which I have done a first look video for. We also have our review of the starter set out. It is a written review that Kevin R. Smith did for the Gaming Gang. I'm considering of maybe shooting a video review that might be a little bit different because, of course, myself and the other correspondents over at the Gaming Gang, we all have, you know, our little tastes and things like that. We don't see things always the same way. But that is available. As far as the review for this core rulebook, we are actually under embargo until the 22nd of March. Funny enough, the actual starter set was under embargo as well, but other people had already jumped the gun. So I got the okay to reveal our review also. So you got the starter set. That actually contains a book that covers all of the Shire. And then there's also the Game Master screen, which includes a Rivendell book. So those are some things that are out there right now that you can pre-order as well. So jumping on into the book here, I like the art style here, the line art. That's pretty cool. I like that. We did see some artwork similar in style, in presentation, I should say, as far as the starter set. So the structure of the game, we've got the adventuring phase, and then we have the fellowship phase. So an adventuring phase session of play is played as a series of scenes connected sequentially in a wider narrative arc. A scene is a single episode focusing on the company, which is the party of adventurers, or part of it facing some kind of challenge, preparing for one, or recovering from it. The fellowship phase. When the adventuring phase is concluded, a fellowship phase starts with the players narrating what their characters do when they finally return from their adventuring to rest for a while. It is now the lore master's turn. The lore master is the term used for the game master in the One Ring. It is now the lore master's turn to act reactively by listening to the players' propositions and wishes and making sure that the rules are correctly applied. So that's kind of the structure of the game. And then it talks about tying it all together. So here we've got some artwork from Martin Grip. So this is not a review. Remember, I have not looked at this. This is the first time I'm taking a peek at this. But I got to admit, and I like Martin Grip's work, I don't know how this just doesn't jump out at me as being like Tolkien in nature. Grip's work tends to be very dark. I'm not saying like grim dark or anything like that, but tend to be very muted, kind of soft on the details. In Alien, the role-playing game, really super cool. But I do notice that Free League Publishing is using his artwork quite a lot in all of their systems. And I like the style, but I don't think the style translates to every single game system out there that Free League Publishing has. All right, so kind of getting into some of the nitty-gritty. Conditions: miserable, weary, wounded. Got the character sheets. If this is anything like the original edition of the One Ring, I believe there are 3 attributes: strength, wits, And there was like a dexterity. Is it agility? No, it's heart. There we go. Here we go. Strength, heart, wits. Those are your trio of attributes for the characters as well. All right, we're going to kind of skip through some of these pages. So we're going to get, I like that artwork. That's kind of cool. The Bardings. Aren't the Bardings Northmen? It's been so long since I read any Tolkien, and it's got to be, oh my gosh, 10 years since I watched any of the Lord of the Rings movies. I really should bust them out. They are great. Elves of Lindon. Hobbits of the Shire. Oh, hey, we got a bookmark here. Men of Bree. Rangers of the North. So we're going to start getting into more of the character creation. So we've got different gear. That's one thing that's in the starter set as well. We've got some gear cards. We have like combat stance cards. I found it interesting because to me personally, once again, I do not know mechanically how this is going to operate. I understand it's going to be similar to the first edition of the One Ring. To me, I find it to be a relatively rules-light system. And I had mentioned that when I was doing my first look of the starter set, and there were comments about, no, it's not really it's not a rules-light system whatsoever. And to me, compare anything to like second edition Pathfinder or even 5e D&D. Some people think 5e D&D is kind of rules light-ish. It's not, especially if you're the game master, the dungeon master. But to me, I always kind of thought the One Ring was kind of middle of the road, a little bit rules light. But I might be completely wrong. Once again, I have not read through this. I actually have not had an opportunity to dig too deeply into the starter set because Kevin was doing the review right off the bat. So I'll probably dig into it. So this is all character creation here. Valor and wisdom. There is more in you of good than you know, child of the kindly West. Some courage and some wisdom blended in measure. All right, so is this going to get into... Okay, so we've got rewards. So these are... Okay, so then we have virtues, cultural virtues. Virtues of the hobbits, act of disappearing, brave at a pinch, small folk. So these seem like these are sort of feats based on race. So we have virtues of the men of Bree, Bree Pony, defiance, desperate courage, friendly and familiar, strange as news from Bree. It's kind of cool. All right, so now we're going to get into the adventuring phases. How an adventuring phase works, combat, resolving attacks, combat tasks. So, as I mentioned, they have combat stances. So we have forward stance, open stance, defensive stance, rearward stance. I should say rearward stance. Just kind of jumping on through. I think that's the journey log here. Because one aspect of the One Ring that is key to the system is that it's presenting the adventures of a fellowship, of a journey. And that is a big thing with the system. At least it was in the first edition. So here we have the fellowship phases, where this is where the players are kind of building their own kind of world as well. They're making changes or making impact by their own narrative presentation or contributions, I guess I'll say. All right, now we get the lore master facing materials here, talking about running the game, handling scenes. So as you can see, that this is a system that's designed to be more along the lines of a set piece sort of adventure. I'm not talking sandbox style or anything like that. Like the other fantasy role-playing game, one of the other fantasy role-playing games, I should say, that Free League publishes, and that is the Forbidden Lands, which I really, really think is a very cool OSR-styled system. Talking about the orcs, just sort of a little bestiary here, maybe. Yep, stone trolls. I do like a lot of this interior art here. Wolves of the Wild. So we have different kinds of wolves. Sections looks like it's about treasure and rewards. And we get into the world. And of course, we will see Free League Publishing expand on the world as well with further supplemental materials. As I mentioned, you already have the books available for the Shire as well as for Rivendell. So I would assume that at some point we will see other books like on Rohan and things like that. And then we've got an appendix, which includes patrons. So you have Balin. There's Bilbo. And Bilbo's magic ring. Wonder what that is. Landmarks. The Star of the Mist. So this is an introductory adventure right here. The starter set has, if I remember correctly, has 4 adventures. They are all focused around hobbits and the Shire, of course. All right, so then we get some tables as well. Our character sheet. Like so. And then, there we go. There's our journal. Our journey log, I guess is what it's called. There we go. Just like so. We actually have a little map here also. Here, ponies and horses. The company. Nice. There we go. Excellent. That is the One Ring second edition from Free League Publishing. As I mentioned previously, there is an embargo on reviews for this core rulebook until March 22nd. So stay tuned. You will see. I'm going to personally review this. Kevin did the starter set. Got another review coming on the Game Master screen and Rivendell book. And off the top of my head, I believe that's Robert doing that one. And, of course, I'm going to do the core rulebook as a video review. So stay tuned. Keep your eyes peeled. Come March 22nd, I will have the review up and ready for you. All right, that is it for this time out. If you like this video, by all means, please give it a quick thumbs up. Subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel if you haven't already. And if you do subscribe, ding that bell. It'll not only let you know when I upload videos such as this, it'll also inform you when my live stream, the Gaming Gang Dispatch, airs Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. Central right here on YouTube. And of course, when you're not watching videos on the Gaming Gang channel, be sure to visit thegaminggang.com for all the latest in gaming news, reviews, and a whole lot more. You know the drill. Get your geek on at thegaminggang.com. Once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thank you so much for taking time out to watch the video. And here's hoping each and every one of you gets to enjoy plenty of great gaming with your gang. See you next time. Oh, hey, you're still here. Well, if that's the case, by all means, subscribe to the Gaming Gang channel by clicking right here. Check out the latest episode of the Gaming Gang Dispatch, or find out what YouTube recommends you check out from the channel. And of course, once again, I'm Jeff McAleer. Thanks for watching.